Good evening. We're going to start the meeting. I'm calling it to order the meeting of the Finance Facilities Committee of the Board of Ed. We waited a few minutes for a member to show up. I'm sure she'll be here very, very shortly. With us tonight is Bev Washington, Chair of the Board. We also have online Jay Whitelauf. And with us, of course, the Superintendent, our Head of Facilities, and our Head of Finance, Interim Head of Finance. All right. First order of business is the approval or disapproval or otherwise of the March 4th meeting. The minutes of. Yes, I forgot that word. So do we have, Jay, do you have any comments on the March 4th meeting minutes?
No suggestions.
No suggestions, all right. I'm going to move, I'll take it upon myself to move approval of the March 4th meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very well. Any discussion? I did that backwards. I guess not. So, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Fine. 2-0-0. Thank you very much. Next order of business is, hello, Jen.
Hello.
Welcome. I knew I was right.
Just in time. We haven't started.
Oh,
We just did the minutes.
So clairvoyant.
thank you.
If you had any comments on the minutes, it's too late. So, Director of Finance, sir.
Okay, so, in front of you, I passed out, and I apologize for not having this ready, but there's this manual work that needs to be done on the financial report, and all the items that you see in yellow are basically manually entered on the encumbrances. Our operating system does not encumber hourly salaries, hourly wages. So therefore, we're going through, and I may still have some others in the 100 series in particular to review, to go through this. Bottom line, where we thought we were good a month ago, we've got about $1.5 million balance right now to get through.
Which is better than what you showed.
Which is better than what we showed. We're going through, a lot of this is manual calculations.
Well, the highlighting.
The highlighted
Yeah,
ones.
just the highlights.
Are manually input. The healthcare was another area that was not done properly. They were supposed to have them encumbered, and we are encumbered now. That was not encumbered previously. So there's areas in here in the 100 series in particular that we're going through with a fine-tooth comb, and if we're trying to back into the encumbrance, if we're still utilizing those expenditures and those hours, we're validating the current encumbrances that are in there. So you may see some fluctuations over the next several months. Well, there's only 3 months left anyway, but hopefully you see some fluctuations. But you may see some modifications. That's the other reason why this was not issued last Friday, because it was a month end, and we had the end of the period, so to speak. And it was a payroll week. I had to wait for that to clear, everything post, and I had to go. That's why you're getting it tonight instead of several days early. So anyway, if there are any questions, screen. We'll do the best we can. As you can see, the substitute line is still over budget. That's one of the lines we were discussing during budget that we felt was far under budget. So I'm looking at. And I highlighted a few other ones that you may have questions on. The regular object 120 in particular, that's the one that, if you recall, I believe during the regular budget, I think we put in over $1 million. We budgeted that line. So, but substitutes, and we're expecting it to drop off because getting toward the end of the school year in another month.
So just let me understand, we're on incumbents, we have zero? That means we have no money left in that account?
No, that means there's no encumbrance within that object code at the moment.
Okay.
That's probably one of the areas that we're going through one at a time, and it takes a while to validate the numbers. So, in other words, substitutes, it's hard to say when you're going to need them, although we did spend $1.3 million, just shy of 1.4. So when people call out sick or take a personal day, you need a sub. But subs are also hard to get. And when you keep in mind, when when people substitute, it actually costs you double. It costs you for your current person that's out, as well as when you get that sub, you're paying for the sub as well. So actually,
Now, building subs, do they, should ask.
that's a one-time, that's a steady one-time expense.
That should be able to be encumbered, right?
That should be encumbered, correct, so. But we're still going through these with a fine-tooth comb. We tried to hit the big hitters in here. But again, we're not finished reviewing all the data in here. Those salary lines, like 101 through, I'm going to say at least 109, those are pretty steady, and those are easy to encumber. You know what you're paying out. Okay. Social Security and Medicare are up. I believe they were under budgeted last year. That's just one of those things. And what else have we got here? 331, 332, that came up during the budget session as well, special ed for the most part there. On the next page.
Were we able to apply that impact aid 173 to the special ed line?
I believe we did. I'll double check, but I think yes.
Because I know.
No, she hasn't done it yet. We are doing it.
So we
She has-
have that coming in too.
Right. She hasn't, she
Children
told
with,
me.
military children with severe
Right.
disabilities.
That was-
There were like two, and it came out to 173,000, and it has to be applied to the special ed. I think we're going to actually put it for the parents.
Yeah,
We're going to put it
It
in
was
the parents.
transportation they wanted me to hit it
Oh,
again.
transportation,
Yep.
okay.
But it met the criteria for it. But matter of fact, right before Heather left, she said she had to do that transaction tomorrow.
Oh, good.
That journal entry, so.
So we'll see a
We should see
little
some
relief.
changes on
Yep.
that. Computer network, we know we were going to be over on that because of the increases in prices and the loss of the DOD funding on the other side. I've got, water is up from, that's just increase in water, that water costs from WB and Southeast.
What about the rentals? What's that about?
Which number?
441.
Well, you got ahead of me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
That's a Sam question.
That's a lot.
I did look it up, what we spent it on, but that's what I was doing the last hour or so. But that's Richard White and is that Porta Potty? It's my shorthand, and I'm not reading it well.
I think
There's some
so.
Yukon stuff in there, too.
So if we had a new field house, we wouldn't have to be.
Well, it isn't
Yeah,
255,000.
but-
No,
What is
there's
it?
like 8 pages of expenditures, and I just highlighted some of the bigger ones that were in there, that's all. But yeah, there's a lot of expenditures in it, a lot of small ones,
For
so,
the rentals?
yeah.
It just adds up.
Yeah, it does after a while.
Well,
so.
we didn't budget a lot
No.
for it either.
That was
Oh,
one of those optimistic figures we
I
adopted.
think so. Is that what we're calling it?
Then we've got other purchase services, that was for, I put down my shorthand as fire, because I should have done landscape, I would have had more room to write my notes, but it was for fire services, as well as odor elevator services, Encore, so that 250 was rolled into that. Now, again, we still have 1.68 million encumbered in that line, so that's one of the other things we're wait, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry, that's transportation, never mind. Back up. We know why that's over. But again, that might be, we're encumbered, and there's POs for a lot of this stuff, but if it's not used, one of the first things we're going to be doing, probably in late April, early May, is start seeing what POs we're going to be, I've already given instructions to get on the phone, start calling them. Did we use them? Did we not use the services? These are the POs we show open. Do you show them open? If not, we start closing them down. So we may see some money coming back into the budget. So this is not written in stone, okay? So just, it's a moving target this time of year. So I want, everybody needs to be aware of that. Not like last week, Jen, last one.
Last year.
But,
Now, minority recruitment, 541. In the FY 25-26 budget, we put $30,000 in for that, and we're not even spending that.
No, we took it out, I
We-
think.
did you took
Beverly.
it out?
Yeah, we took it out.
I thought I saw it in the budget.
Oh, they put it back in?
I don't know.
I
thought
don't
it
think
was-
this is the teacher and resident, though. This just might be
And that was,
the recruiting costs when they go out to the job fairs and stuff, if they have to.
yeah, probably. I'd have to
Spend
dig
anything.
deep. They didn't spend a lot. They only spent
I
$16.
wish I had my budget book. I'm gonna check
Yeah.
on that.
I thought we took it out. It was like 31,000.
That was the
or
teacher and
something,
resident, though, Jen. I don't think that was this.
This, okay.
I can find out, though, from Lori.
Resident teachers, 150.
Yeah, we have it over here, resident
That-
teacher.
we're right on target.
151.
Yep.
That's because there must have been 3 of them.
I didn't dig that deep. Not on that line.
So I've got,
I wish I had my
I'll
budget
have
book. I have
questions,
it in the
but did we lose Jay? No. What happened?
No, he's still there.
Yeah, Jay should see that. Yeah, somehow we switched tabs. Jay, do you have any questions for Ray?
I'm a little bit handicapped because I can't see the
Right.
document.
I
Right.
didn't email it out.
Yeah, a big handicap, not a little handicap.
Well, no, I mean, you can dream something. All right, I'll let you think, I'll let you cogitate. I tried that, it didn't really work.
But what about the
Sorry.
568, the special ed?
Special ed,
That's a lot, too, under.
we've spent over $1 million on a line that was budgeted for 542.
So, Jen, any questions?
I do, actually,
Okay,
but I'm
yeah.
going to try to take a, if you can go with yourself or Beverly first, I'm going to try to send this over to
Oh,
Jay.
okay. So I just asterisk the negative numbers under the available balance, just for starters, the negative numbers that were 250 or bigger. And I guess my question's on those. And I knew that some of these things were going to be, we're for whatever reason, we're way past the budget number. How reliable are these numbers? So, for example, we've got a regular substitute. I know we can't tell, but just do we have a feel? So we're, $650,000 in the hole on regular substitutes. Do we expect
I
any
would
rate
expect,
changes there?
we're running about, I would expect about another 200 in there.
I was going to say we're going to hit
Yeah,
$800,000.
you'll hit 800 because it looks like you're running about 200 a month, because there's 7 months into that year-to-date expenditure.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you look at what was budgeted, it was 733, and I feel like that number is always around 900,000 for subs.
Another optimistic number
Yeah.
on our part?
Could be.
Well, I think, and I'm not throwing any gasoline on a fire, but I believe when the cuts came down last year, I believe that the eraser just went in, and to make the budget balance, so some of the cuts went in.
Right, and then the feeling was, well, we'll make that number work somehow, and then it doesn't because you have outside forces at work.
Right.
People are out.
Particularly anything with
Just sending it.
substitutes, special education cost,
People.
yes, they're all people.
Same thing with the group insurance, 201. That's 363 under right now. Any feel for how that's going to?
That's good. That encumbrance number is, because we prepay for the next month,
It's
so
solid.
April's pay. So the 443 is right on target. Okay, but keep in mind, the 202 is, it's another healthcare line, which is actually the hourly employees. So when you add the two together, you're actually in pretty good shape on healthcare
I
this
see.
year. As a matter of fact, we just received our healthcare reports from the town, but I didn't get a chance to rip them apart. I just got them today, so.
So as we sit here, we're not going to get deeper.
No,
deeper,
no,
deeper into a hole
I
or
would
something.
not panic over healthcare.
As we see things now.
Right.
Other professional, again, the bottom line, 332. Again, how stable is that?
Those are all solid POs that are in there. That's one of the lines that that Joanne has been instructed to start pulling POs and start making phone
Phone
calls.
calls.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only way.
That's what, last year, the
You
phone
did
call
that
mode.
last year.
Yes.
Yep.
As soon as I got here, that was the first thing I started doing. Let's get on the phone, start calling people. And that didn't stop until August. So we had to close out things, and that's how you ended up with your $50,000 surplus.
All right, so, yeah, this raises another question. The business with vendors saying, sorry I didn't give you a bill during your last fiscal year, but here we are, even though it's September, here's a bill.
knock on wood, right now, it doesn't look that way.
Okay.
But
Have they all been warned? They got to get their bills in by?
I tried something several years ago in another job. If you don't get me your invoice by this date, we're not responsible to pay it, but you signed an agreement.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I think it's still,
That went over like a lead balloon.
if it's a big number, they'll
Yeah,
see
we
it.
don't want to be on the paper that we don't pay our bills.
Yeah, but you know what, for Pete's sake, I mean.
One of the things we are doing to try to curb contractual issues and things like that is, we had a brief meeting today with Denise, but we're also going to get together and her top tier services that she's utilizing. We're going to present some 3 to 5 year agreements, 3-year with an option to extend for 2 more, with similar to CPI escalators, that type of thing.
Right.
This way, there's no surprises. We can plan 3 to 5 years out now, and hopefully, but you don't know who's going to use it. That's the other issue.
Yeah.
Can we do that with the attorneys, too?
Hey, that's you and the board. I don't touch that.
Works of Moses doesn't pay my bills.
Some of the big hitters are the ones that are, for me, that they're easy to answer. The 165 on the rentals on the other side.
What number are you on? Oh, yeah,
441.
441.
I think I responded to that already.
Yeah.
Pupil transportation.
Yeah, it's
is
another
up.
one I'm looking at.
Again, that may reduce eventually, because there might be, even though you have the expenditures in there of $2.5 million, you've got $1.6 million of encumbrances. There could be a timing issue, okay, as to when the POs get moved over, invoices processed, and then the PO is reduced by that dollar amount. So there might be timing issues within that program there. It's all timing.
568, line 568, that's another one. How stable, is that prediction? Well, it's not a prediction. I mean, we've already spent it.
We already spent that money.
We did
I
see an
don't think-
uptick on the magnet costs.
Yes.
And the number of kids going, because we got a lot of them back, but it seems like Learn is shifting, so they're going to do pre-K K next year, and then they're going to do pre-K to 1. So once they get them into the system, they might stay there.
Right.
And then they're going to go all the way out to grade 8 and then the Marine Science School. So some of their changes may bring our kids over.
Now, Learn has been fairly stable on their pricing. We just got all the new contracts in for Learn, CREC, EastCon, New London. So EastCon has some large increases that they're, financially, they're not real stable right now. They're hurting. So, and I'm trying to be delicate with that because I'm good friends with the director up there. You're seeing like a 7% increase that was hit mid-year this year and another 7 for next year, just on EastCon. Learn is, I think they're about 3 to 5 range, depending on the services.
And that's probably why the governor responded like he did with some of those extra funds for special ed, because he was hearing that.
Yeah, EastCon is heavy into special ed support. And you never know with special ed, that's the problem.
And then our favorite electricity, 631 again.
Electricity, I'm still,
I mean, all these things are kind of, wild cards in a way, but, as we head from April 1st to June 30th, what do we think that might look like at the end of the day? Not holding you to it, just curious.
you see, right now we're at $500,000. I'm projecting we may hit as high as 6 to 8, somewhere in that range. So I think that's going to be tough. Gas, we should be fairly stable there. I don't think you're going to see much more than what you're seeing there now.
Right, because we're done, sort of done.
Fuel oil is
buildings.
done.
Yeah.
Well, we still use fuel oil in a couple of our schools.
Yeah, but it's prepaid.
Vacation.
It's prepaid,
Yeah,
so you
okay.
don't, nothing to
All right.
really worry about.
Okay, good.
Fuel oil and gasoline are all prepaid. So, and I'm trying to see, not gas, that's natural gas, by the way.
Yeah.
And what else?
Yeah, I haven't asked you for anything that's under, say, $250,000. There are figures there, too,
And
but,
then you have the custodial supplies, that's up a little bit, but
Yeah.
again, you've got inflationary costs and they need to keep the building clean. And so.
yeah, that's not a budget buster.
No, nope.
We talked about electricity and filling our cars.
With electrons,
Yeah.
which don't weigh anything. I don't get it.
Nobody's buying Teslas nowadays, so. I should stop, I'm sorry. I had to go there.
I feel like buying one just because, but anyway. Jen, questions? Or you're still working?
Huh? Oh, no. So I had circled like 107, the assistant principals in the schools. We didn't have a vacancy, did we? Like, I feel
That
like,
includes the summer buyouts for vacation.
Okay.
That type of thing. Because, what is it, was it set, I forgot this contract I'm mixing up with my last place. Is it 9 days?
I don't know if that's the accurate answer to that question. I think we have to check with Lori.
I'm almost 99% positive.
Okay, well.
That's
if you
where
are-
we used to put them in my previous district. We would roll it into the salary line.
Okay.
Because you can't budget for it for next year because they're getting paid this year.
Okay.
So,
because it's favorable, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and then the temp, the 131 temp special ed teacher, and I'm not sure if Dean asked and I missed it because I was sending the file.
I didn't. I focused on the negative stuff only.
Oh, you focused on the negative? Okay. So the 880 favorability there are like, do we not have temp special ed teachers on board?
we have them. I'm not sure if we can get them. I mean,
So we have
it's
vacancies?
something I need to check with Lori on that one. I mean, we budgeted 2.8, and you're spending about 2 million roughly altogether with what's encumbered.
Could that have been an over-budget item, maybe?
Possibly.
I'd have to look at what the actuals were in '24.
I'd have to go back
We
and see
maybe
what,
over-budgeted that one.
Yeah.
Pessimistic estimate.
but I wouldn't touch it right now.
No. I'm just curious because I'm thinking about the budget too. Like even though I'm looking at this, I'm thinking about the budget too.
Yep.
So okay, and then we just wanted to understand 201 and 202 group insurance, PR and OT, professional and other, or we don't know what the PR and the OT.
The 201 is for the salaried employees.
Okay.
The OT is
Overtime.
for not overtime. It's technically, yes, it's for the hourly employees.
Oh,
Okay.
Problem is, everything goes against 201, if you notice. So if you look at the two, it's all the same health care.
Yep.
They net together.
Okay.
Now, there are some things that get pinged in there that I need to validate, and that there's some of the other lines that I'm trying to remember the stuff we spoke about earlier today. Do you remember, Susan, when Lori and I were talking? About
through
the healthcare
group
line.
insurance?
Yeah, the group insurance, the HSA payments from the employees. There's some other things that are in there. So we're still validating the total insurance. I'm pretty confident with the encumbrances on there because we've applied some purchase orders to allocate the encumbrances. So the $1.4 million that you're seeing is 2 months worth of payments going in, and then the $1.6 million is to cover whatever's left to process through. Eventually, they'll be moving if it works the way I've been told, we should see some expenditures against the 202. Okay?
Okay. And then, where it is, it's a special ed again, 562. It's like 2/3 of the way down. It's like favorable 259. Board placement. Do we know what that is?
That's where, how should I say this without,
When you have a child that's
Thank you.
outplaced based
Oh,
on
like,
us
yeah,
needing
that we can't support it.
that we can't support.
Correct.
Okay.
Like
Right.
Worsted Country School.
Okay.
I want to do the right, I don't want
And
to
there's
offend
also
anybody, I
the
want to use
state,
the right words.
the state placement too,
Yeah.
where you might have a child in DCF or,
So
something.
that's actually good, but it helps offset some of the other placements that are in there.
In the, like overall special ed, maybe we,
Special ed is like roll the dice every year.
exactly. Do you think maybe next time, like you could do like a little chart to say, and you don't need to pull everything out, but easy ones,
I'll
like.
do it on landscape.
This is
so I'll
like,
put notes in the side too.
no, more like, hey, we have a budget of like $88 million. We spend like approximately $30 million or whatever it is on special ed? Because I know we get it reimbursed. I just want to see, like, are we yeah, that's what I want to see, like, what our break even point. Not that we should be looking at it that way, but it just seems like we're making a lot of investments in.
On the backside,
Oh, good.
okay.
But it just seems like we're making a lot of investment in special ed, but then when we're looking at the actuals, we're
Are
not
you saying the
spending
cost
it.
that we're spending versus the excess cost reimbursement that comes in?
No, what I'm trying to figure out is like just the regular budget, right? If we can identify how much we spend on special ed
Percent.
as a
About 20.
portion,
I can
it's
tell you
about
right now,
20,
Every district is somewhere around 25%, right?
25%,
And rising.
Our number of
25%.
students is also about 20%.
Yes,
Yes.
and I was going to say, our
That
number of
cost is a
students
little
is
more-
about
A little
20%.
higher, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so do we know how much we get reimbursed, like roughly 50%, 75%? It just seems like we made a lot of investment.
Excess cost is about
I know, and that
800,000.
goes into the town to support education.
Correct, so every.
So it's not extra money.
It's not extra,
It's a revenue source.
yeah.
Yep.
No, it's just because,
And
like,
that's only, I'm sorry, it's only at
Sorry.
about 58% reimbursement now.
58?
It used to be close to 70, 75% at one time.
Yeah, no,
And
just,
your ECS money hasn't changed since 2000, I believe. It's been about 25 million. So it's, they've, your budget has gone up threefold since that time.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I'll keep quiet.
no.
Next question.
No. So our
all the
budget's
time.
roughly, let's say 20%, our student ratios, oh no, our budget's roughly 25%, our student population's roughly 20%. That's sort of good. We get reimbursed roughly 58%. So I'm just concerned because in the budget process, we made a lot of
Actually, I
investments.
want to make a correction there.
Oh,
You reimbursed 58% of the excess cost.
of
Not of
excess.
Not of the total.
Not the, oh, okay.
So out of those who are,
We're only
paying-
getting about $800,000 of excess costs, 800, well, between all of them, it's about 1.1
there's
million.
not, there's a handful of kids that meet
Yeah.
that criteria, not a whole
Right,
lot.
there's not a lot of them.
Because we usually take care of them in-house, take care of their needs.
So when they say they're reimbursing you, you're not getting the
We're
full
not
amount.
getting full amount.
And that excess cost, like I said, is only at about 58% of what you truly should be getting. Because it comes from the federal government, goes to the state state takes their chunk, then you get what's left. Which you really don't get. You're budgeting, I gotta watch how I think we're budgeting net this town. We don't budget gross. If we budgeted gross, we would get it direct. We're budgeting net, so the town actually gets it. So, but either way. it's
Either
rolling-
way.
It comes
It's rolling.
in
Either way,
spent
yeah.
for education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's your
Yeah.
money.
No, I'm just, like I said, some of the questions may be related or not related to this, but because I'm just thinking budget-wise, we made investments, right, in special ed, and I feel like I'm looking at this and we're favorable, so maybe.
That one line.
Like a couple of, yeah, that's why I was asking if you could, like, identify which ones where we should go.
I could break out the special ed cost. There is a way for me to do it. It'll,
Very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go out of your way.
no, I won't do it. It's not on this side.
Yeah.
I'll break it out.
Yeah, no.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on that.
'Cause I'm going to have to do it for the MOE that I'm going to be
It's
working.
another report.
Huh?
Another report.
Another report I have to do for the state to get your 800,000 or a million.
Well, that's true, right?
That's true.
Otherwise, you won't get that. So Denise and I will be getting together to do that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
That needs to be done by the end of this month, I think.
That's soon.
Yeah. It's either April 15th or May 15th.
This year all of
I
a
gotta
sudden
check the
started
dates.
flying by.
It's almost over.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jen?
One last one, 615, I've noticed, 615, another special ed one where it's favorable, just trying to understand, because it seems like it's all over the place. It's the top of the,
Yeah, that's,
top of the third
that's the one
page.
thing that we've been talking to, I'd have to really, 615?
That's a supply cost.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, supplies,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's
And I
why
think
it's
each
favorable.
special educator, and depending on the programs.
Most of the 600s are either supplies or some sort of maintenance, materials, that type of thing.
Not that there's a lot, but the library books, 645, I know we're running favorable, and I know I'm probably going to get crucified, but like to say this, but like we should let our librarians buy like a couple of books, maybe. Susan, your call.
I told them to hold it for now till we get another month in, and they've got
Okay.
the list ready to go, so if
Okay.
you purchase them, we will, Jen.
Okay.
So we're just
I
being
agree.
cautious.
He knows what I'm thinking right now. I want to hold it a little tight until we
Closer.
know we have
Right.
something
Okay.
more concrete.
It's just I know that there's a need there
Yeah.
from when we go in. Yeah.
I'll totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I know.
This is the time of year where I get very cautious.
I have to say, though, that when I first got here, the principals weren't doing their own budgets. It kind of came through the central office. So now that they have their own site budgets and they're very much aware, they've really been trying to spend a little each year on the library. And, through some of our DODEA grants, we've also gotten a lot of money for library books and classroom libraries. So we have really a beautiful set of library books, both in our libraries and in our classrooms. So when you go
That is
in
one
there.
of the things, no, I apologize.
That's all right.
Go ahead.
But that is one of the things that we've asked the principals, staff, if you can buy it through a grant and it qualifies for the grant, purchase it through some of the grants that we have right now. I mean, keep the general fund fairly level if we can. So we're making that approach as well. So.
Jen, anything else?
I'm all set, Dean. Thank you.
Jay, last call. Have you thought of anything? Doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
document related, but.
So, mention was made of the legislature and the governor coming to that agreement about a special payment on special ed. So has that come directly to the board, or does that go directly to the town? I'm hearing it both ways.
They didn't release it yet. It
No, I
may
think it was
honor
a couple
about-
$100,000, though, that's supposed to come our way.
It's supposed to be on or about May 15th,
Yeah.
by May 15th, somewhere around there. That's what I heard. That was as of last Friday when I was at Casbo's workshop. So, but
And that will come directly to the board to offset
probably,
basically excess cost, or it's going to
Well,
the town?
It was not a known revenue source, so I would think that it would come. We'll have to check.
let me double check that.
Yeah, we'll double check
I'll put a flyer out to Casbo just to see
what everybody else is doing.
what's happening in other towns. Okay.
All right.
And
I'm sorry.
in terms of OPEB, have we made the payment for the current year? Is that reflected
Not
in
yet,
the 202 line?
not yet. Normally they come in with a request, the way, and this is my understanding, we get a request to do a reconciliation with the town, and normally we process those requests over, like there were several in this budget, in this presentation that were moved over. They just grab the money, move it over, and then we reallocate it from our side. It saves on cutting checks. They basically move the money from the left pocket to the right pocket, for simpler terms.
So it's not going to hit this this financial statement then?
It's still within our financial statement, but it's not in this one in our hands right now.
Do you know how big of a hit that might be?
About $1 million.
And I know that while we were creating the budget for next year, that we had not received the actuarial report. So I believe you mentioned that you've received it. So is that in line with the projections for next year?
What I've received is a reconciliation from the town on OPEB as well as our healthcare expenditures through February, which would probably jive with the report that I published about a month and a half ago for the first quarter of this year, fiscal calendar year. I'm expecting another report from I think it's MDG we use?
Yep.
Okay. MDG we should be getting another report this month. So if I get it in time, I'll publish it with our next regular board meeting.
But can we get that town calculation through February of the
Yeah.
insurance and OPEB?
Yep,
You share-
I just got it. I mean, at a quick glance, it didn't look bad, but I can send that out. I mean, it's public
And is it
document.
possible for you to scan the pages of the Milliman actuarial report that relate to the Board of Ed so that we can see that for next year?
The ones that came in the last packet, Jay? I'm confused.
I haven't seen Milliman's actuarial report.
That was published, I know I published that in my 2 meetings ago. I'll look back. If you need it, I can send it to you, Jay.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
All right, that's all right. We're all getting old.
Then, just for the, the information of the entire board, maybe if we can get some breakdowns, I'm still unclear about the 331, 332. And I know you mentioned that there's multiple pages of things that add up to that, but I'm just curious why, just those 2 lines alone are over 500,000. So if we can just sort of get a sense of where that is and, what's driving that.
Student services for the most part.
Special ed.
Yep.
For 332?
I gave that breakdown. I had a long talk with Bev one day. But we can get it for you, Jay.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, no, I guess we're done on this one. I've got one question. So if you had the OPEB number that you say, and this is sort of guesses on top of guesses, I understand. If you had that $1 million figure in here, would that take that 1.5 million to basically 0.5 million?
But half
Okay, so
So
instead of looking at the 1.5 million as, woo, we have, we may be able to, we've got 1.5 million to burn, so to speak. We really only have the $500,000.
yes and no, it's encumbered.
Okay,
All right, so you're still covered there.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
So that's why,
That's why encumbrances are so important.
and I need to stress that to the staff that's down there, because once I'm gone, who knows how things,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave my best practices, okay? But if it can be encumbered, you have to encumber it, because you're never going to know where you stand.
Otherwise, yeah,
Yep.
you'll be surprised at the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Usually not in a good
Like I was a month ago, when I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there are no further questions for our Director of Finance, once, twice, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I know you
Good
have to.
night.
Yeah, no,
row.
thank you.
Drive safely. Yes,
Thank
drive
you.
safely.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ray. I appreciate you being here and staying late.
Want me to take a bow now?
Right behind me. Sam, find a mic, or you're going to hand stuff out.
Ooh,
Love
Got
handouts.
something to
thank you.
Never have enough.
Did you email this to Jay, Sam?
You're pretty loud.
Did you email this to Jay, Sam? If not, oh, forget it. I'll,
March 31st,
okay.
and it's a backside.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a backside too, okay.
all right, next on the order of business.
We'll get to that handout in just a minute.
Yeah,
drive safely.
See you in the morning.
Okay.
thanks, Ray.
You're welcome.
Our Director of Buildings and Grounds.
Yes, so, good evening. So, Ray is just leaving, but Ray and I have been working on the EDO 49 for the Barnum Roof project. However, Ray could attest to the fact that when we went on there today, they've actually changed some of the information or requests for information on there than they gave us the last time we went on to try and do this. So it's still not complete, but we're working on it
Okay.
to get that EDO 49 completed for the Barnum roof. Every time I say this,
They'll answer the phone at the State Department that will help out with
he
this?
spoke to Michelle Dixon today.
Okay,
so.
good, good.
So as I've said, probably the last 3 meetings, the timeline is getting shorter and shorter, tighter and tighter, and which makes it that much more difficult to get a contractor and get the project done this summer. But we are going to continue marching forward and work toward that goal either way. So last meeting, I talked a little bit, I told you about Mr. Adcock from the state Department of Consumer Protection who came down regarding the EV stations, charging stations. It was very difficult to find a place where I could actually ask a question regarding those, because it says in the statement that if the charging stations that we have are designated for public use, then we have to register them. I couldn't find anywhere online where you register them or any information about registering them, so I got a request into them to tell me how do I go about this, and if it's required, because I don't believe that we ever designated them in any way. People have just been using them. We didn't say that people could use them. They're just there, and people have been using them. So, at any rate, we're still waiting for a response from the state on the EV charging stations. Fitch High School and Charles Barnum HVAC projects, and that's the handout that I just gave you. I don't know.
I sent it to
Somebody
Jay.
online there to put that up on the screen if we need to for somebody. Is somebody watching in from?
I have it.
Oh,
Send it to
okay,
you.
yeah,
Want me
Jay.
to share it?
Jay, could you please, because Jay is still online there, and I can't hand him a paper copy right now.
Okay, I will.
Okay? So the important part is on page 2, which, of course, is the new estimates by the architect firm of Silver Petrocelli regarding the HVAC equipment at Fitch High School, upgrades at Fitch High School, and also at Charles Barnum School. And the new numbers are higher than they were when we got from the last company that submitted numbers. And so these are fresh off the press. I just received them, I think, last night.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, I think I just got them last night.
How do they compare to the original one?
Well, I'm going to tell you that. So
Anxious.
the Fitch High School project was estimated, it was over a year ago, at $5,054,000, and it's now $6,082,000. And the Charles Barnum project was estimated at $2,318,000, and it's now $3,109,000. So, relatively steep.
Yeah.
Steep improvement. So whether, one thing we have in there now that I know wasn't in there in the first one was actually a contingency. So you can see that there's while they're not large numbers, again, it's $29,000 for contingency for Barnum and $47,000 at Fitch. The hazardous, in the last estimate, it wasn't really broken out, but I do not believe they had the hazardous materials testing for $10,000 at Fitch and $10,000 at Barnum, and probably didn't have the commissioning agent either. So $50,000 at Barnum, $70,000 at Fitch. That would have been an additional cost from their original estimate on doing the project. The commissioning agents, when the project is done, they would set the equipment up to function properly. So those are the ones that I believe were not in there. Still doesn't. It's still a pretty significant increase over those numbers.
And what about the exclusions? What's your estimate for those? Do we need that?
I'm sorry?
The exclusions on the bottom.
Yeah, what they're not doing.
Yeah, some of those things will probably come into play, but we don't have a number for them. So
Oh, like we
they
need
would
them?
they would come
We'll
in there.
need them.
I beg your pardon?
We will need these.
We probably would, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that can
That
drive
should
the
be-
cost down. Yeah. That's why I asked about them.
So while our original estimate was at $5 million for Fitch and $2 million something for Barnum, and they've increased by estimate here. Nobody really knows until you put it out to bid and you get your numbers.
That's true.
We're always, I would say we're in the ballpark at those numbers based on my experience in doing roofs over the years, but sometimes we're surprised when we don't want to be, and other times we've been surprised to our delight.
What do you mean by escalation?
I think that's based on a timeframe of when you actually do the project.
So that means the price can go up 150,000? Is that what it means? The price can go up $150,000?
But it's included in this budget. So
Yeah, but that's what
if it
it
didn't, if the prices didn't go up, that money wouldn't be spent. But
Yeah. It's probably, I know they have contingency, but
Another
it's,
contingency.
Yeah, another contingent. I was thinking
yeah,
the
it's
same
just
thing.
for material, probably.
I don't
And
see
the other
swamp
one is-
insurance in here.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
yeah, well, the roofing materials have a tendency to go up in the spring of each year. So by the time you go out to bid, maybe the numbers go
Now,
up.
this could even go up even more if those tariffs come into play tomorrow, right?
Anything could happen.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Right, so,
Yeah.
I find it interesting that the high school number is up 20%, but the Charles Barnum number is up 34%. So you figure if there was an escalation, you'd see like a roughly 20% increase.
Both, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
Scale of economy, perhaps, but
Maybe.
it shouldn't be that big a difference other than, you know.
I mean, it's like, it's just add $1 million. But it's a different percentage. But anyway. Three-dimensional renderings. Are we talking the BIM, the building information model, that kind of thing?
Yeah, you wouldn't need that for a roof, so it's not
Yeah.
those things for the HVAC project.
And full-time construction observation, I mean, for projects like these, would we ordinarily have our own in-house clerk of the works or an observer of some sort? Or maybe not a clerk of the works, but, so what would we do for full-time construction observation? Would
Yeah, we
third-party that out or have somebody
No,
in-house?
it'd be in-house. We'd do it in-house.
Okay. And then the environmental remediation or monitoring services, again, I guess,
Yeah, that's hiring Mystic Air or a company like that to
right,
actually test the air or test materials that might show up that you don't know about.
right. Well, this is beyond our pay grade. I mean, we can say.
But I'm
yay,
glad you got it. This was a labor of love, trying to get this pulled off.
So
CIP.
so what's the next step?
now I've shown it to you, now I'm going to get it to Mr. Burke.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That's the second item. Third item. The other thing is that on April 8th, I'll be meeting with, I got some time at the principals meeting. I was able to get on the agenda at the last minute to talk about tools for schools. That's indoor air quality. They are a multitude of checklists that we use to go around and check all this equipment. And it's not just my department, but the schools, one of their committees will actually go around the schools as well. So it's state mandated. If you don't do it, you don't qualify for HVAC reimbursement. So we did it last year. Last year we did it, by the time we got stuff together, it was almost the end of the year. I think we did it in June, which wasn't fair to the principals, I don't believe. So that's why I'm going to the meeting on the 8th to see if we can get that done a little bit sooner, what works for them time-wise. And then my department will do ours in concert with theirs, whatever.
Will it come
Is best.
after spring cleaning? Jules Briscoe, so we get a better report.
Well, we change the filters during spring break, but
I know you do.
yeah, it won't. That doesn't really affect
Yeah.
the classrooms that much. So it'll really. I'll take a poll of the principals and see what works best for them.
All right.
And then, as reported last time, we were doing no trespassing signs at Kolnaski. Those are complete. It's also been reported to me that Northeast Academy was completed. What day is today? Tuesday? Yeah, at the end of last week, but I haven't been out there to actually observe it yet. I'll go out there this week and double check it, but my understanding is that it's completed there, and we'll move on to another couple of schools here soon.
Thames River next.
Thames
I know they were the one that,
River, don't they have the no trespass and
do
stuff?
they already have no trespass and stuff?
I think
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
Thames River was done prior to these.
Yeah.
I was at the community thing. I didn't even see it, but there's a lot of stuff going on.
They're sort of small.
Are they small?
They're not very big. Whether,
I must have totally missed them.
they might be 8 by 11 or so, I mean,
The size of a piece of paper.
maybe a little smaller than
Maybe a little smaller, right?
yeah, but they're there. Nobody reads signs, so don't pay for big signs, because they don't read them anyways. Pay for the little signs, and then if they trespass
You get a lot more of
and you don't like it,
Can't you read?
yeah,
Yeah.
you can ask the police to do something about it if you have the signs. I think they'd help us out either way.
All right. Anything else, sir?
That's it for now, unless you have any questions.
Questions, Jay?
Yes, so we were just reviewing the HVAC upgrades, but is everything complete now to go forward with the bidding on the actual Charles Barnum roof?
No, that was the first thing I reported on, that Ray and I were on the state website today, and we're still not able to complete the form, and he had to request some information from the state as to how we answer some questions, and I believe he also asked, or maybe Joyce asked for him, of some information from the town.
So they needed information from the town?
Yeah, on one of the votes on the project. So I don't believe he had a certified copy of the town council vote to approve it, so that was sent out today, so.
Okay, sorry I missed that, but I'm just concerned that if these HVAC quotes have increased astronomically, where are we with the roof?
Right, yep. I fully understand that. But this is the third business manager that's tried to put this through. And the first two didn't work out well. Ray has gotten a lot further than the other two did, I can tell you that much, so.
All right.
So I'm hoping that we'll be able to finish that up this week. And at least get it to the state and find out when we can go up there and get this out. We have to still go and visit with the state and face to face, and at which time they'll give us the authorization to go out to bid. But we'll be ready for that when they give us the go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Jen?
Just following up, the Fitch baseball field sign, is that up, the new one?
No.
No. Okay.
No, today, the trench was dug today to go from, the power is at the old scoreboard right
Yep.
now. So there was a trench that was dug another 100 and some feet all the way around to the back side of the fence. Because
Yep.
the new scoreboard is going to go beyond the fence in right field.
Yes.
And it's looking for home plate to the right. Just kidding. I'm not kidding. I mean, it is to the right looking for home plate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that trench was dug, the conduit was laid, and they started backfilling that today. Their next step will finish cleaning that up, and then they will, first contractor will take the old sign down,
Yes.
save it, as
Yeah.
potential use over at the middle school.
Yep, at Mystic.
Although
I thought
we're gonna do, I'm still not fully understanding whether the EB sign for the softball field is actually a done deal yet. So, but
okay.
either way, we're
I
not
was gonna
tossing the
say
sign
that.
out. We're saving
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sign.
Because we were thinking it was a perfectly good sign. Because
Sign
when
is
they
a
were
good sign.
donating it, I was like, well, we have a nice sign already.
They already donated? I didn't know they donated.
That's the other question. There wasn't there a
Yeah,
gentleman
no.
who was
Maybe they
going to
donated.
I don't know, but that's what they said they would
contribute
do.
some money
Yeah.
toward
Yeah,
the
yeah.
installation
It
of the
must be
new
there.
sign?
There's a volunteer group that
Nobody
are
said
putting
it
this whole
came.
package together.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Which sign are we talking about?
The baseball field. This is for
The
this
class of 80.
The donation from,
class of 69.
they're not that old.
69 is going to do the,
Oh, no.
No.
Ed Harvey Field, Ed was.
Yeah, that's
in the
what-
class of
Yeah.
69, so-
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did they donate it?
But some of his players,
Yeah, the class
Some
of
of-
84 were the ones who.
Yeah, they're like in the 80s.
actually, some of them.
80s.
yeah, it's been
They
more
weren't
than-
that old.
When did they donate it? When did it come in? You already had the sign?
No, we don't have the sign. It's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
in next week on Monday. They're coming to pour the slab for the new sign. And then once that, then they'll erect the new sign, so.
And when are they going to?
Dedication is
Dedication.
April 24th.
Will you make sure Joyce has that? Because she's been putting, have you noticed, she's been putting a little sign of all the events coming up each month, so she's been up to
Good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
April 24th. They're playing Woodstock Academy. It's a 4 o'clock start to the game, so I'm hoping that this will take. Ed has been informed. He already knows about it. It's not a secret.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
family's coming, et cetera.
That's great.
And the class is 69. We're all coming too, so.
Are you the class of 69?
He's a classmate, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he's a classmate? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I know that I'm going to get the word out to those people like the class of the 80s.
Yeah.
The one who won all of the, I'm going to try to get the word out to the class of the 80s who won all of those championships. Like, I think it was like 87, 88, 89 or something.
Yep.
One of them turned out to be a classmate of mine in college. One of them turned out to be a classmate of mine in college.
Yeah,
not know
Gene,
that.
right?
Did not know that. Anyway,
Any other good?
So that happened, they did a good job getting that sign. I mean, they said they were going to do it, and they actually did it.
Well, and they came to us
Yeah.
a couple years ago, I remember.
Did you see what it looks like?
No, they just described it to us.
I think they stole from my design on the sign that I did for the Ledger High School baseball field, to be honest with you. That's the truth.
And so now you
Who was
want
that
to,
named after? Ledger.
Matt Buriak was a player of mine.
so now you want to use the old sign for Groton Middle School? But I thought EB was giving us,
So I don't know the full,
Same.
I don't know where we are with that. We're saving the sign either way, so it's available.
2 for the middle school fields, we're getting 2 of them
yeah.
Yes, from,
from EB and
but-
Booster Club.
but
So-
originally they were thinking the old baseball one would go down to Mystic. No, to Mystic.
Well, it can go Mystic River or,
Yeah, Mystic River, because that's where JV plays.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
put it there when it was color, too.
Yeah, that's why I had to think. I'm here like, what was that?
Oh. Yeah, that would be
Slowly
nice.
but surely.
well, that's a little more difficult because that's an elementary school and it's an elementary field, so it's not fenced in or anything, so it's a little more difficult to place it there, but
Well, Sam, are you hesitant about the EB scoreboard?
no, no, I'm not, I don't know where it left off. I know the emails that I've read, so
Okay.
I don't know what the last iteration of it was. I saw some pictures.
Mark Romano's on it. We'll have to ask him when he comes to the meeting for policy.
All right. Anything else, Sean? Bev, while you're here.
I don't know where I had a picture of it, but I don't know where it went.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done. You're done.
Yeah.
Sir, you're excused. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And what did I say? Oh,
I'm trying.
motion, 7:10.
Oh, no, Bev or I need to say it, right?
No, you've got to say it. Or Jay, one of you.
Oh, Jay. Yeah.
Somebody do something.
Second.
All right,
Okay.
moved and seconded, we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I don't
Any opposed? Don't you dare. Abstentions? All right, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.